Today I'm going to share with you two recipes that use chickpea flour, also known as garbanzo bean flour. I know some people like to eat this because it is so nutritious, and some people aren't quite familiar with how to use this. So I'm going to share two of my favorite dishes with the chickpea or garbanzo bean flour. Pronto? Allora andiamo a cucinare. Ciao, my name is Lucia, and thanks for tuning in to Green Olive Cooking, where you're only a few ingredients away from a great meal. And today's recipe is Feta Natta that consists of chickpea flour or garbanzo bean flour. We're also going to add a clove of garlic, a little bit of salt, and some water. And we'll just whisk that water into our flour mixture until all well combined. Now this is very popular in Italy. As a matter of fact, a lot of the bakeries, they will put a sign out on the door telling you what time the Feta Natta will be ready, and there will be a line of people waiting for it to come fresh out of the oven. So I'm gonna cook my Feta Natta in the oven in a cast iron pan. And so you want to get your oven at least 450 degrees and get the pan in there, your cast iron, for at least 10 or 15 minutes so it gets nice and hot. And so now we're going to add about a quarter cup of olive oil, or you could do safflower oil, that would be fine too. And you want to make sure you get a nice coating. It might look like there's a lot of oil in here, but you really need it so that the Feta Natta doesn't stick in here when we cook it. And so we also want to just move that oil around to make sure we get a nice coating. And now at this point, we're going to add our Feta Natta in here. And again, we want to move it around to make sure it goes everywhere. Okay, now that it's even all over, I've just got some cherry tomatoes that I've cut up. And I just put a little bit of salt and oregano and a little bit of olive oil in here. And we just want to place them sporadically all over, face up. And I have a combination of the red and yellow, but you could use just straight red or yellow, whatever you have. And if you don't have baby tomatoes, you could actually just do slices of tomatoes. And then I like to add a few thinly sliced red onion. I think it just gives nice color as well as good flavor. So now I'm going to put it back into my 450 degree oven that I'm going to turn the temperature down to 350 and cook until the edges come golden brown. I'll show you what that looks like, and then I'll show you the remaining toppings that go on here. And now our Feta Natta has come out of the oven, and so I like to actually take a little bit of pesto and just kind of sprinkle it, drizzle it all over the Feta Natta just to give it an extra boost in flavor. And this is perfect served with a side salad. Then to serve, we just want to cut into a wedge, and you have a great, hearty, and fantastic quick dinner. For this dish, Chickpea Croquette, which is chickpea croquettes, we're going to start with some shredded potatoes. You don't have to have shredded potatoes. You could have any leftover potato from a baked potato, whatever you want. We're also going to add a can of garbanzo beans. And I want to kind of crush them up just a little bit with my potato masher. And we don't have to worry about them all being mashed up. We just want to kind of mash up some of them. We want to keep some of the texture in there. Then we're going to add some purple onion that we've finely diced. We're going to add some chickpea flour. We're going to add 2 cloves of garlic, minced. We're also going to add an egg, and we're going to add some parsley. And you can add as much parsley as you'd like, some salt, and a little bit of paprika. And now we're just going to mix everything to combine. All right, so now we've got our saute pan. I'm adding some oil, and we do need quite a bit of oil here, at least enough to evenly cover the bottom, because we are sauteing these croquettes, and they will absorb some of the oil. So I just use a cookie scoop, because I want mine to be about the same size. So I'm going to just scoop out some of the filling, and it just is kind of loosely holding together, and that's fine, that's what you want. And I'm going to drop it into the hot oil and just kind of press down a little bit so it's not so much of a bump and more of a flat croquette type. And I'm just going to keep doing this until I fill up my saute pan. So once they're golden brown on both sides, we can just go ahead and take it and place it on a paper-lined tray so that it absorbs any of the excess oil. So now when you're ready to plate your croquettes, just go ahead and place them on a plate. And what we can do to garnish is we can add some fresh mozzarella cheese. I like to kind of layer it in between. Then I like to add a few cherry tomatoes that I've marinated in some oil, salt, and oregano. Also garnish with a little bit of parsley. And I love to top it with a little bit of fleur de sel. You get these beautiful little flaky pieces of salt, and they just give a nice little crunch to your dish. The wonderful thing about these dishes, especially the Farinata, is you can pretty much put any leftovers that you might even have in here. So it doesn't have to be just the tomatoes, the onions, and the pesto. It could be corn or peas or carrots or even some sausage. So it's pretty much whatever your imagination is. So I hope I've inspired you to maybe go out and try some chickpea or garbanzo bean flour and give it a try. And if you'd like to also try another great recipe right over here, I will check you out in the next video. Ciao, ci vediamo dopo. Buon appetit.